And good morning, Mr. Briscoe. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing quite well, thank you. So for those of you at home who wouldn't know what you do, can you just explain what you do?
I'm the educator in residence at the American Society of Naval Engineers. And so that encompasses two big programs right now. One is the Fleet program, which is a free video game where students can design their own ships and do naval engineering. And then the second program we have is called Promoting Electric Propulsion. And it's a college age competition where students are designing their own electric powered boats. They're going to build them in the spring and then we're going to race them in July in Baltimore.
I know that you mentioned Fleet, and Patriots has been able to use that before. So do you think you could go more in depth about Fleet and possibly some of the roles that you play in that?
Fleet is completely free. And if you go to our website, navalengineers.org, you can click Fleet. It's under a STEM tab. You can download it today. You can play it as much as you want. It's completely free. The industry for naval engineering is a little interesting where not many people think about being an engineer on a ship or being an engineer that designs ships. But it's actually one of the highest paying fields in engineering. And it's a field where there's a lot of people looking to retire in the next 10 years. So I'm on board with the association to really help inspire students to consider this as a career path when they're looking at different STEM possibilities. Fleet's on board into that, where it's a video game, so that's fun. You get to design ships, you get to make it yourself, that's fun. You get to compete against people across the country. Hopefully you set the high score, show everyone who's the best. So it's a fun way to get involved in this. And then for any teachers listening, we have curriculum that can be used in an after school program or in a physics classroom to really pull out the science ideas in the video game. Because what we really want to do is make learning accessible and fun through Fleet.
How exactly did you first get involved in this career?
If I come from the educator perspective, where I work with students right now, I'm doing a lot of tutoring, helping people get the math and science ideas down, but also trying to do it in an interesting way so that they stay in a STEM career path. And Fleet is just that embodied. We have had it open at different times where students can make their own objects that we put into the video game. We just wrote some grants to hopefully get it so that students will be able to code small pieces of the game and change like what the gravity on Earth is or the wave conditions, things like that, so that they can become video game designers. Because naval engineering involves a lot of actually maintaining the ship, making these floating cities at sea work. But it's also about being able to use computers, being able to do design and be able to do some simulation and testing. So that kind of using the video game itself, the code, as a way for students to practice engineering is something that we really want to bring students into too.
What challenges have you come across ever since the COVID-19 pandemic started?
We went to 50 STEM festivals in 2018. We obviously did not go to a STEM festival since this has started. That said, we started Twitch channel, of which obviously I really was invested in. But we actually were on there 3 hours a week, playing Fleet, showing people different aspects of Fleet. As people found Fleet while they're at home, they needed to help get figuring out how the buttons work, what's the purpose, how everything works. So we were always bringing students on board through Twitch.
What kind of engagement have you been seeing from that? Have you seen students that have started to delve more into that interest?
We're seeing hundreds of students sign up to Fleet. In the last few months, every month we're adding a bunch of new users. We're trying to help them. We have videos on our website, so you could just play it as you download it. You could watch a video and get into the game. But it's a lot more interesting if someone's live and answering your questions. So we're always trying to get out there to really help these new people. And I think one thing, it's always interesting as a student to kind of transition from the teacher giving you everything to you finding a path and you seeking more, where you find the after school activity, you find the thing that you're going to do that makes you happy and makes you feel successful in the ways that you define.